In this video, we're going to be doing a complete walkthrough on QuoteIQ. The last time I made this was about 10 months ago, and we have added a tremendous amount of features into QuoteIQ. So I'm going to be walking you guys through every single feature within it, how to use it, and just best practices with QuoteIQ, so that way you guys can kind of, get the ropes, see what it has to offer, and everything else. So if you guys are interested in getting QuoteIQ, it'll be the first link in the comment section and description. You can save 50% off by going to myquoteiq.com. You go to myquoteiq, you set up an account and register with us, and this is going to be the subscriptions page. As you guys can see, 50% off for the first 3 months off of all these subscriptions. And if you want to get a onboarding call with myself and Mike, you get a free onboarding call if you choose to upgrade to yearly after checking out, and you're going to save 20% on the yearly plan. So for anybody who wants to sit down with me and Mike, help you go through this, set this up, and implement everything that Mike has done with regards to email sequencing and just everything he has in place. Ask us any questions you need to. You can get the yearly plan, and we will do a free call with you. Now, for anybody who doesn't want to pay for any of these larger packages, what you guys can do, we recently added add-ons. So you can come in here, you can get the dashboard analytics for relatively cheap. Keep eyes on your business. We got the 28-point inspection form, mass text and email, map measuring tool, and then text and email automation. And we are going to have InstaQuote soon. In this video, I'm going to be walking you guys through each one of these features. So if any of these features sound good to you, definitely check out the add-ons. But as I mentioned before, if you get some of the higher tiers, you actually just get all of these already added in to one of these. So if you guys are interested, check out first link in the comment section and the description. You can also get QuoteIQ from the App Store and the Google Play Store. So be sure to check it out there as well. If you subscribe to the website at myquoteiq.com, you actually, you can still use the app version, and vice versa. If you subscribe on the app version, you get myquoteiq.com as, an add-on. And so for anybody who's just interested in using the free version of the app, the things that you get that are included with that, if you need help keeping up with customers, sending estimates, invoices, and collecting payments, you can do that all for free within the app. But some of the, premium features, the nicer features, are paid features. As you guys can imagine, it costs a lot of money to build this software. And yeah, so basically what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go through every single facet of the app. I want to start off with the dashboard though, and kind of take you guys through some of the analytics that we want you to be tracking within your business. These were the most important analytics that we found, and we wanted the dashboard to be kind of, the cockpit, if you will, the finger on the pulse, your business at a glance, and to where you can kind of see all the most important analytics within your business at a glance. So first and foremost, we have our profit and loss statement. Basically what that is that's going to be gross sales minus your expenses. And it's going to give you what that net income number is, because, we all say that we made 100 grand last year. Well, how much did you spend, right? That's a big part of it. And so this is going to help give you a more accurate number as to how much you're currently making. Gross sales we have right here. This is essentially every single invoice that you mark as paid goes in your gross sales, and it just tracks how much money you made over the year. Helps with taxes, helps with pretty much everything. The next one that we got is sales by service. So this one is incredibly important. We have your top 6 services here, so that way you can kind of keep tabs on, what are the things that we're selling into most? Are we diversified? Is it one main thing that we're offering that we're getting the most amount of money from? How do we kind of diversify? It kind of gives you a glance of, what services are we offering, and how are those services kind of split out, so that way we can either allocate more time, energy, and resources into diversifying the amount of services that we offer, or whatever one's working best, we just kind of double down on that one. Another thing that we recently added in is your average ticket price. So for anybody who doesn't know, this is just the average of all the invoices that you mark as paid. So this kind of gives you an idea of what your average customer is paying per job. So for instance, on this account, it's $982.18. And why this is really valuable is if you know that it costs you, $100, $200 to acquire a customer, it's fine, because your average ticket price is $982.18. Another reason why you want to be cognizant of what your average ticket price is, so that way you can raise it up. What gets measured gets improved. And so we want to obviously measure what is the average amount that we are billing our customers, and how can we slowly but surely increase that through upsells, through selling them other services, through selling them higher ticket services, things of that nature. We put in lead sources here so that we guys can see where every single lead is coming from in your business, and so that way you can kind of get diversified. So if you're leaning too heavily on one lead source, you can kind of, like I said, diversify where those are coming in and where the ad spend is. So like, for instance, in this account, you guys can see that a large majority of the customers are coming in through Google. So we need to either double down on Google, spend more money on ads, things of that nature, or we need to kind of, venture into some of these other territories and see if we can't make up for where, we're losing out on customers, or see if we can't diversify where our customers are coming in. Now, one of my favorite things about, this lead source tab is you can actually see how many leads you added in over a particular time period. So we can look at last month and we see we only added in one contact, and that contact was from Google. And the beautiful thing about this is we can look at last year and we see that we added in 28 contacts. We know that we need to be adding more people in every single month, and you're able to kind of track that number and how many people you're adding into your client list and your customer base by checking your lead sources tab right here. Expenses right here just tracks all of your expenses over the past however much amount of time. This helps you keep track of, how much money is going out in the business, so that we can kind of get that net income number up here, as well as kind of helps you keep track of your taxes. So we're going to be going into the expenses tab down here and kind of taking a look at what that looks like. But essentially, you're able to track it at a glance, and we can see what our expenses are for the past month, for the past year, whatever the case may be. And then lastly, we put in latest open invoices. So one of the things that we were kind of taking a look at within Mike's business is he had invoices that were going out, and he wasn't necessarily able to keep track of where the invoices were that weren't being paid, and he was having to like scroll through and do a whole bunch of work. So what we did was we took all of the invoices and we put them on this home screen here, and they're basically organized based on longest amount past due. So as you guys can see here, Bill Burr has been supposed to pay us for over 315 days. This gives us an easy opportunity to say, okay, we need to contact Bill and we need to try to get paid for this. And if we did mark Bill as paid, then it's going to remove him from this list. And then we know, okay, we need to go after Big Mike, and we need to go ahead and collect our money from Big Mike as well. So now at a glance, we can see what invoices haven't been paid and who we need to follow up with in order to get those paid. Now, there's one more analytic on this home screen, and that is underneath your company profile pick, and that is your close ratio. Your close ratio is determined based on your estimates, which we're going to get to estimates here in just a bit. But essentially, this allows you to see where your pricing is, right? Because if we're closing a high percentage of jobs, we're probably losing out on money. And if we're closing too low, then we're probably leaving money on the table that we should be collecting. So that is essentially the dashboard at a glance. Those are all the most important metrics in there. If you guys have other metrics you think we should put in here or add in here that would be very valuable to your business, please let me know down in the comment section below, because I'm always open to hear about those. But I want to take you guys into the settings tab, because once you create your account, this is pretty much the hub where you want to go. You want to hop into the settings tab, so that way you can kind of edit everything within the app. So first and foremost, we have the company profile. If you guys hop in here, you can edit everything from your company name, company email, the phone number, the website. You guys can pretty much tweak anything you need to within here. So if your company email updates, or you get a new phone number for the business, you want to go into company profile and kind of tweak that and add those in there. Services, I'm going to actually go through services here in just a minute. I just want to show you guys that the services screen is in the settings, but services is also on this sidebar as well. So under services, we have packages, and this is just another way for you guys to send out estimates. Once we get to the estimate screen, I'm going to show you guys the 3 different estimate types that we have and kind of go through those. But packages is one of the things that you guys are going to be able to offer within one of those estimates, and you can tweak that here. If you have one of the higher tiers, you also get the hourly rate calculator, which allows you to plug in all of your different expenses: vehicle, insurance, equipment, supplies, any ones that you want. You can actually add expenses in. You can add in workers. So as you guys can see here, we have employees here. And then from all these numbers, it's going to give us what we need to be charging for our hourly rate in order to break even. And from that, we can even put a profit margin on top of it in order to get a target hourly rate. So if you guys are interested, you can check out this to kind of figure out where your hourly rate needs to be. If you're just downloading the app and you're coming from another software, or you want to migrate all of your contacts in from your phone, you can do that by downloading the sample CSV, plugging all of your information in, and then importing the CSV, and then all that data is going to be put into QuoteIQ. Now we have a tutorial video here. It really has to be pretty exact with how it needs to match, or else it's not going to go through. And if you guys want us to do it for you, we have a one-time setup fee here, just kind of cover the cost of us having somebody put it in, but we'll essentially put in all of your contacts for you within the app. Under that, we have estimate terms and conditions. So if you guys want to add in terms and conditions to every single estimate that you put in, like a customer contract, for example, this is the place that you would do that. You can click the plus icon here. We have 2 different options for you. You can upload a document, which has to be a PDF specifically, or you can do custom terms and conditions where you type them in, or you copy and paste them in from another source. So this is where the terms and conditions are. I'm also going to show you where these are within the estimates as well. But after terms and conditions, we have our estimate and SMS email templates. So whenever you guys send out estimates via email or SMS, this is a place where you can put in the text that's going to go before the estimate. And then that way it's kind of like copy paste, like you don't have to type the text out every time. So for example, on this email, I have your estimate is attached. Thank you so much for considering our services. Please see your attached estimate below. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And, you guys can plug in whatever you want. Even for SMS, you could do something very similar. It just allows you, like I said, to have some type of template automatically placed whenever you send an estimate and an invoice. And you can do that for both email and SMS. The next one is the custom PDF footers. You don't necessarily even need to touch this. I don't have any custom PDF footers. This is just if you want to add anything else to the PDF, you guys can put in a custom footer into there. And, we had the space, so we added it in just in case anybody wanted to put their own little touch on it. We also have our email automation templates within here, which I'm going to go through in a separate part of the video. But they all have trigger points. This screen is also available on the side tab via email automation, which I'm going to go through, like I said, here in just a minute. So you guys can find that there. Users and permissions. If you guys have other people using the app and you want to add them in, you can actually add in anybody you want to. So we'll just say mike@gmail.com. Boom. And then you would enter in details like this is employee. Boom. And then you can actually pick their calendar color. So if they have a calendar event that's scheduled underneath their particular profile, it'll pop up with whatever the calendar event color is. And then you can also set permissions for them. So like if you don't want them to see the dashboard screen, they don't have to. They can, like, let's say this was an employee, all they need to have access to is the calendar screen. They can view the calendar. Like you can have it to where they can't view prices. They can, you can basically go through here and you can set every single screen that person can look at and every screen that they cannot look at. So that's a beautiful feature. This is for you to add in employees, and this is for you to kind of control what all they can see. When you add them in, you're going to send them an email, and they're going to be able to have a temporary login into another account that's going to give them access to all the different things within here that you've allowed them to see within your account. So if you guys have any other users you're trying to add into your account, check out users and permissions. Underneath this, we have the self-schedule and quote settings. So for anybody who's checked out InstaQuote, if you haven't already, I'll probably cover InstaQuote a little bit later in this video as well as self-scheduling. But if you guys want to be able to have customers quote themselves and schedule themselves, then you need to check out this part in the settings tab and pretty much get all these different steps figured out and finished up. So I will share with you guys what self-quote and self-schedule looks like a little bit later in the video. I kind of just wanted to cover all the settings real quick. So you have your gateways here. Gateways will make more sense once we get a little bit further along. Gateways are something that you need in order to send out the mass emails. And then, you can edit your inspection form template, just very similar to our invoice and estimate templates. You can edit your lead sources. So let's say that, you had a particular lead source that wasn't in here. You can come in here, add in whatever lead sources you need to. Twilio API settings. If you guys want to send text messages from the app, you will need to connect your Twilio. And then if you just want to edit, and update your specific email that you use to create this account, you can do that with this button here. And then, of course, you can delete your account. So all of these things you guys can play within the settings tab. I just kind of want to go through that because it's kind of a lot, but it's one of the more important things whenever you're first getting started with the app. Another important thing, though, is your QuoteIQ payments. If you guys click through here, you can actually set up your payment portal. It's actually going to allow you to connect a Stripe account to your QuoteIQ account, and all of the payments are processed through Stripe. And, whenever you send out an invoice, the customer can easily pay. That money's going to be available for you in Stripe. And it's just the best way to go. I'd click this, but then it's going to give away, my banking information. I have it set up through here to test the feature. And so another good thing about invoicing through here is people can leave tips, and it's just beautiful. It's quick, easy, it's fast. And like I said, once you get paid, it goes right into your Stripe account. You can look at it. You can see when it's coming to you, and it's just very easy to manage. So after you check out the settings, I would highly recommend you check out QuoteIQ Payment. But the next thing that we're going to get into is services. And so as you guys can see here, this is where my list of services are. Whenever you download the app, it's going to ask you what industry you are in. If you guys see your industry in there, select it. If not, you have to select other. But basically, depending on whatever industry you guys select, it will put in here some services. So for instance, if you select pressure washing, It's going to give you like house wash, roof wash, concrete cleaning, some of these services already within there. For me, I recently added in some of these other services like house lights, bushes and tree lights, beams and rails. These are specific services to Christmas lighting because that's a service that we're going to be offering here soon. So if you guys create your service list and you see something that's not in here, you can always click add a custom service, to which you can plug in a name for it. So I'm just going to put in random here. You can plug in a price for it, which will say $15. Service description, we will come to your property and random. Boom. And then your service description is going to be placed on your estimates, which we'll take a look at here in a minute. And from here, you're going to be able to select 3 different ways to quote. So we can quote by the square footage, we can quote by the linear footage, or we can quote by per quantity. So for example, within pressure washing, a lot of our quotes are square footage based. If you're doing gutter cleaning, that would be a linear foot based quote. And then if you're doing, like for instance, with Christmas lighting, if we're wrapping up, beams and stuff, that's like a per quantity. We charge a certain amount per beam that we're wrapping up. So as you guys can see, depending on whatever service it is that you're offering, you can pick one of the 3 here. If it's just a one-off service, I'd pick per quantity, and then you could just select one, and then whatever the case may be. Either way, this is how you set up services. From within the services menu, you guys can also set up self-scheduling. If you have that available to you, you can set up a service minimum price, and you can set up a service duration if you're going to do the self-scheduling. Also, you can display this on InstaQuote so that way people can get their own InstaQuotes with it. And there's also a pricing matrix. But like I said, I'll go more into InstaQuote and self-schedule later on in this video. So I'm not going to save this, but this is essentially how you would add a service in. You can also reorganize your services by using this right here to drag them around. I prefer just changing the number and then clicking the plus icon, and then it moves them around. But I'll put this one back to 1. And then you can also delete a service. So blah, let's say that we didn't want that service in there anymore. We can just, that's the edit. We can come in here and just delete that service off of our service list. Just anytime that you're in here editing, you want to make sure that you click update before you leave out. So that way it kind of updates everything that's in here. And then once it's done updating, we'll then back out of here, and that is your services. That's how you manage them. That's how you reorder them. I order them based on whatever services we're offering most frequently, and the purpose of them is to help you with these dashboard analytics as well, to kind of keep track of everything. So that is the services menu. Next, we'll kind of jump into email automation, which is here, and you guys can set different automations based on different triggers. So each one of these is a trigger. So basically, you can set an automation for once an estimate is created. You can set a follow-up once an estimate is scheduled. Hey, we're going to show up at your property at XYZ time, whatever the case may be. If an estimate is declined, hey, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity. Why did we not get the job? ? You could send that out if you wanted to. And then when an invoice is paid, there's a couple different ones that you can do. You can ask for a review, which is one of the ones that I have here. And then you can do a follow-up email to kind of keep track and keep up with people that you're doing jobs for. Like for pressure washing, for instance, we only service about once a year. So we want to make sure that we're getting back out in front of those people probably about 11 months after the servicing. So if we hop into one of these, we can actually edit it, and I'll show you guys a little bit of what this looks like. So from the top, you can pick how an automation is triggered, what its trigger event is. So this one is invoice paid. You can then pick what it is. So this one's only going to let me do email, but you can also do SMS for any of these automation triggers. Send type, we want to send it after the invoice is paid. Then we can pick our duration. For this one, we picked 11 months. And then you can actually, internal reminders, you can actually send this to a permitted user if you want to, which would be myself, which I don't want to do. And then you can have a cancellation event for this automation sequence. We can name the automation sequence. We can type up a subject line, email body, and this is just going to allow you to stay in front of these people with whatever messages you want to. So this is a little bit about email automation. Like I said, if you guys subscribe for a year, you're going to get the free call with me and Mike. Mike can take you through all of his email automation. He actually has multiple emails, like 5, 6, 7 deep for each one of these categories, depending on what the customer does. And it just it never sleeps. It never rests. It just always kind of stays in front of the customer. All you got to do is set it up once. You just got to know what automations to put in there, and basically based on what you want to do and how you want to contact these people. Next, we have mass text and email campaigns. This is what I was telling you guys earlier about the gateways. This is where you'd have to set up your gateway. But essentially, with this, what you can do is you can email or text every single contact that you have within your QuoteIQ account, and you can send them offers. So for instance, we're going into a slower month or slower season right now. So you could say, hey guys, we're offering a discount on XYZ services if you're interested in, getting on the schedule with us for the next month. Or, hey, we're now going to be offering Christmas lighting. If you guys want to get your Christmas lights done, please send us an email. We're now booking for December. Whatever the case may be, it just allows you to communicate with everyone that's in your database, and it's incredibly valuable because if you guys aren't implementing automations and you're not implementing text campaigns, you can't even imagine how much money you're missing out on by not staying in contact with the people that you've done jobs for and that you've serviced their property. The next thing is invoices. Within here, you guys can see every single invoice that you have. You can do quick invoices, which just allow you to come through and just create a quick invoice for anybody you'd want to. And this is pretty cool. You can add specific services on here, pretty much exactly like what I'm going to show you guys with creating estimates. You could do custom descriptions for these, custom amounts for these. And then basically once you're done, you can attach photos, you can add acceptable payments, and you can just add these things in. You can add in a client message. You can make this a recurring invoice if you want. If it's something that, if you're servicing this person on a weekly basis, you can come in here and say that you want this invoice to be sent out every week for however many weeks it is. And so this is just a quick way for you to send requests for money to your customers. And then we'll save and continue so I can show you guys what this looks like. Once you've kind of input all the data within here for what this invoice is going to look like, then it's going to give us basically a preview of what this is going to look like before we actually send this out to the customer. So once you like the preview, we can click this right here. We can click copy. We can send it through the app, or we can send an email with this, which we're not going to do any of these because this is obviously a fake a fake invoice. But as you guys can see, super simple, easy way. You can always come back in here and edit any invoice that you did if you need to add more money onto it, whatever the case may be. And it's just as simple as that. So sending invoices, you can do it very quickly. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. Self-schedule requests. Once you guys have self-schedule in place, which I'll talk about later, if you want customers to be able to schedule themselves, it's going to basically take your calendar and it's going to give them availabilities based on your calendar. And then from there, they'll be able to put in requests to get on your schedule, which is just a cool feature that allows people to schedule themselves based on your calendar availability. So it's not something that you have to go back and forth with the customer on. And if they do, we never just automatically accept the request and put it in for you. Anytime that a customer tries to schedule themselves, it's first going to give it to you as a request, which then you can edit it, you can accept it, or you can do whatever you need to do. So we'll come back out of here and keep it going. Inspection archive. I'm going to take you guys through the inspection list here in just a minute, but essentially this gives you every single inspection that you've ever created in here for you. The inspections act as a safety net for you whenever you are doing jobs at people's properties, and this is where all of them are kept. I did forget to show you guys this, but within the contact section, you can actually click on any contact that you'd like. I'll try to click on one that I've done a lot for. Let me see. I think Benny Blanco has a lot of them. So Benny Blanco here, we can scroll down and then we can actually see every single invoice, every single inspection form, every single estimate that we've ever sent to Benny. So that's one of the cool pieces is the app is going to keep track of this. So let's say that we did a job for Benny last year, and then he calls us back out to do another job for him. Basically, we can look at what we charged him the last year, and it's going to let us know. So all of that is tracked within the app. All of that is tracked under each customer, and it gives you all their customer information. So that's another little cool add-on feature that's actually in the free version as well. You can track, all of your previous jobs with other customers. And so that way, what I used to do is I would just do it on the fly. If I didn't have a text exchange with that customer and I would just have to guess, I'd have to send them a new price. And sometimes it probably wasn't as expensive as the following year. It might've been way more expensive. I don't know. It's one of the things that I couldn't really tell in my business. And that was one of the things that probably didn't help me out. So inspection archive, you get to see all your inspection forms here, but you can also check all that information under specific contacts as well. Now we'll get into expenses a little bit. This is where you can track all of your expenses for tax purposes. You can select the duration that you'd like to see your expenses. So if you want to, see them all for this year, we can click this and it's going to show us all this year's expenses that we've put in here. So that way, you know what your expenses were for your books as well as for your taxes as well. We did integrate with QuickBooks, so you can now do QuickBooks Sync. And we've done a couple different iterations of this. If you guys have any issues with it or have any questions with it, please let us know. We're trying to make the QuickBooks Sync as best as possible. It wasn't working extremely well in the beginning, but like I said, we've continued to refine it, and we've continued to work in here to try to make it work as best as possible for all of our users. And if you guys ever have any issues with the app, all you got to do is come down here into support, and then support's going to take you to a page where you can contact support here, and you're going to be able to send us an email with any issues that you have. This is a little bit further down the list, but I did want to let you guys know because we had a couple issues with QuickBooks Sync. Luckily, some of the users within the app were making us aware of that. We were able to go back in, test things out, make things work, and just bring you guys a more refined product. And that's our mission with the entire app, is to always be refining it, always be making it better, and always bring you guys the best version of what we have for you. So QuickBooks Sync is right here. Subscription packages, if you guys want to subscribe, half off. Check out the first link in the comment section description at myquoteiq.com, half off for the first 3 months. And you can do all the add-ons. So if you get a lower tier, you want to have an add-on, it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Next, we got the resources. This is all the free stuff you guys can use within the app. So, we've shown off the mix calculator a bunch of times on my channel. This helps you to figure out how much water to bleach mix you need in order to hit a certain ratio, depending on whatever surface you're cleaning. So this is incredibly important for pressure washers. We also have pressure washing national averages here. So if you guys ever need to, figure out where you should be at on pricing, check out the national averages. You can get the pressure washing contract. We have a universal contract. We have supplies and equipment. We got our resource page. You can get 100 free postcards, free business insurance quote, and you can also get a website. So this is all of our free resources for you guys, just as like a little added benefit of using the app. This is all the free things that we have to offer you guys right there, as well as the website team that we use. And yes, that's pretty much everything. We got the privacy policy, but that is everything within this sidebar here. That's all of the analytics within here. So now let's kind of get into more of my favorite part of the app. We're going to get into the estimates, calendar, forms, notifications, and the map tool. So first and foremost, we'll go ahead and jump into the estimates. I'm going to show you guys how to create estimates, how to track your estimates, and all that kind of stuff. The beautiful thing about this page is they're all sorted. Okay, so when I was kind of thinking about what the easiest way to kind of do this was, I was like, well, we can create estimates and they can all stay in one area, or we can create tabs out to kind of show what the numbers look like. So here you guys can see that we have 169 estimates created that have not been sorted. And essentially what this acts as is a message to you to go ahead and follow up with all these people and see whether or not they want to get on the schedule, see whether or not they want to accept or decline their estimate, whatever the case may be. So you know that you need to follow up with the opens. The accepteds are people that accepted their estimate and that need to be placed on the schedule. So all these people, you need to follow up with them and say, hey, I saw you accepted the estimate. When can we go ahead and get you on the schedule? The scheduled people obviously are already on the schedule. The declined people obviously declined your estimate. So this is another good analytic to see. It also goes back into our close ratio, which is something that, is very important to keep an eye on, as well as we can see how many people have been marked as paid in here. So each one of these acts as, to help us show the analytics on the home screen, as well as it shows you what you need to do. From this screen, we can look at older estimates. We can get PDFs of old estimates that we can send to the customer. We can have for our own personal keeping. We can edit these estimates by clicking this button here and jumping in that way. We can also delete these estimates if we want to by clicking the delete button. We can also sort and do actions based on these buttons at the bottom. So let's say that, Bill Ball sent us a message and said, hey, I want to get on the schedule. We could then click schedule here. We could schedule that estimate. We could invoice from here as well. So let's say that we did the job, we just never really put him on the schedule because it was kind of a quick thing. We can easily go through and invoice him, as well as we can decline it and mark it as paid. So we tried to make it as easy as possible to do as many things as possible from this estimate screen. And so that way it's kind of laid out in a good way. But let's kind of go ahead and create an estimate so I can show you guys how the map tool integrates with this and how seamless and easy it is and quick it is to kind of create an estimate using QuoteIQ. So we're going to come in here to customers. I'm going to pick Santa Claus because we recently did a video where we kind of showed how to quote Christmas lighting jobs. And then from here, we're going to pick all this pre-fills, which you guys don't need to edit any of this. This isn't even editable because it's all pre-filling based on the information that is within the contact. So it pre-fills the phone number, email, address, and then where the lead came from. The only thing that you really need to adjust once you've selected this customer is if you want to, you can adjust the estimate type here at the bottom. But if you just want a standard estimate, you can click save and continue. It's going to automatically default to standard estimates. Now I want to break down basically the difference between the three estimates that we have here. So we got the standard estimates, option estimates, and package estimates. Standard estimates is just like, here's the price for all the different services that you asked for, and it gives a total, and then that's it. Options estimate, it goes ahead and sends them all the different services that were quoted and allows them to select the services that they want. So basically giving them the option to select or not select all the different services that we are providing for them in that estimate. And then package estimates allows you to create packages for each customer. So we could say, hey, this is our, our platinum package, this is our gold package, this is our silver package, and each one comes with its own, benefits. So these were the three ways that we really saw a large amount of people quoting with, and we wanted to go ahead and add those things in there so that way people could utilize them within their business. For this example, I'm going to go with an options estimate so I can actually show you guys what the options estimate looks like here. And we're going to go ahead and just create an estimate for them. So for this particular deal, we'll go ahead and create an estimate again for Christmas lighting. I do want to show you guys this. All my Christmas lighting services are already here at the top. This is house lights along the gutter line. And as you guys can see, this is a linear footage measurement. I showed you guys how to set up services earlier. Within that, you get to select square footage, linear footage, or per quantity. There's a linear footage measurement. Now, we have the ability to come in here and just enter a flat rate. We could just say $250 if we wanted to, or what we can do is we can erase this, and then we'll do our linear foot price, which was $6. And then we can click this map icon right here, which is actually going to take us to the property. So this is going to go ahead and take us to the property. And then from here, what we can do is we can actually click this yellow button, and it's going to give us a street view of the property. So first and foremost, we can take a street view. So that way we can see how tall it is, how many stories it is, and just the surrounding areas, pretty much everything else that we want to see. So we can see the street view, and then we can actually come in here and measure it. So like I told you guys, this is the gutter line. So we're just going to go ahead and measure this. And all you want to do is place the cursor where you want the point to be, press add point, and then we're just going to measure this out here. So this is Christmas lighting along the front gutter line. We're going to add this in. It's going to take the linear footage and multiply it times our linear footage price, which was $583.80. So we're able to easily measure things and get a price back very quickly just based on whatever it is that our price is and whatever it is that we're quoting. So one of my favorite features of QuoteIQ is the measuring tool, and I'll show you guys just like one other way. So with walkway lighting, this is also a linear foot measurement, and the way we would do it is we're just going to come in here like this, and I'm just going to select a few points just like this. Boom, boom. Okay, so now we got our linear footage measurement for our walkway lighting. We're going to click the plus icon. It's then going to multiply that linear footage times whatever our rate is, which is $4, which we're actually going to have to double in this instance. So it's $153. We'll go ahead and enter in a flat rate of $306, and that'll be that. So as you guys can see, we entered in, we have our gutter line pricing, we have our walkway lighting, and then one of the things that we did is if you've inputted a price for the service, it's going to have a little dot over the top of it, so you guys can easily kind of keep track of what services that you've inputted prices for. For this one, I'm just going to add in another couple quick prices just so I can show you guys what the estimate looks like, and then we will take it from there. So we have all of our prices for all of our services. We're going to click next here. This is then going to give us kind of a preview and an edit of what this estimate looks like. We can click on whatever particular service we want to. We can edit that service description. We can even edit, some other things within here. I'm going to leave all this the same. Obviously, we can add in a discount, which, either can be in percentages or it can be in dollars. We can add in a deposit, as well as if you guys want to add in tax, that's something that you can do within the company settings. You can add in a particular tax. It's going to add it to all of your different estimates. But we can add in all of those things. We then can add in our terms and conditions. So as you guys saw earlier within the settings menu, we can set up those terms and conditions. Here we can go ahead and select which terms and conditions we want to add in. We'll go ahead and add in our pressure washing contract for this one. We'll save it as a default, and then we'll save. And then you can also add in pictures to this. We can add in a footer for our estimate, which I do have in here. Thank you for your business. We are licensed and insured. And then we'll just proceed. This is then going to give us what the estimate is going to look like to the customer, along with all the services, what those prices are in the total. And then we'll go ahead and copy this link and send it on over to the customer. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what this estimate looks like. So here's the estimate that the customer is going to see. This is an options estimate, as I mentioned before. So it's going to give the option for them to select whatever services that they're interested in. As you guys can see here, we have our estimate total. Select services below to view estimate. So then they'll have to come down here and they'll have to say, okay, we do want to get the house gutters, the house lights on the gutter line. We do want to get the bushes and trees done, and we did want to get the walkway done. And then they can go ahead and accept the estimate from there. Whenever they do accept, they're going to be prompted to type in their full name in order to accept the estimate. And then by accepting, I agree to the terms and conditions. It kind of creates this as a valid contractual agreement when that is the case. So I'm going to click no cancel because I'm just showing you guys this as an example, and we're going to hop back in. But essentially, that is everything you guys need to know with regards to the estimate screen, how to create estimates. And then if Santa Claus was like, yes, we want to go ahead and get this done, we could then schedule that for him, and we could go ahead and put him on the schedule, which I'll go ahead and do now. We're going to say Wednesday, the 8th. We're going to give him a start time of 9 a.m. because I know he likes to sleep in, the big guy. And then we'll give him an end time of 3 p.m. and then select permitted users. As you guys saw before, if you have employees, you can select them for this specific event. We could add in notes like Santa Claus likes his cookies with milk. And then that way it's just in here. We know. I mean, you could also say like the gate code is 55514, whatever the case may be, 55524. And then these are all the services that are going to be put on this calendar event. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm this. We'll go ahead and get that put on the calendar. That event now has moved from the open tab into the scheduled tab. And as you guys can see, we have Santa Claus set up for his event. So now we'll kind of hop into the calendar so that way I can show you guys that. The calendar is automatically sorted by month. You guys can go back in months here. You can go forward in months here. And then you guys can see what days have calendar events based on the dot that is on that event. And then the cool thing about this is you can kind of get a glance on how much money you're going to make for the day with this tab right here. So you guys can see Wednesday, November 8th, 2023, we're going to make $2,126.86 or 80 cents based on what's on the schedule already. So if we scroll down a little bit farther, the way that this calendar is organized is based on hour. So that way you guys can kind of see how the day lines up. And as we can see, there's only one event here from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and that is Santa Claus's house. We can click on this event, and then it's going to kind of give us a preview of everything that this event entails. So from here, we can see the address, we can see the phone number, we can see that it's for house lights, bushes and trees, walkways. And then we can see Santa Claus likes his cookies with milk. The gate code is blah, 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 blah. We also wanted to give you guys the ability to run your business from the calendar if you want to. So let's say that, we do this job, we finish it up. We then can click the pending tab, and then we can mark it as done. We could invoice from here, which is then going to open up the invoice that correlates with all these different services that we've offered Santa Claus. And we can invoice him from here. We can mark it as done. We can essentially do everything from right here. So it's just a good way to go. The calendar helps you to kind of keep track of everything, gives you a glimpse of what the schedule looks like for the week, for the month, and then how much money you're going to make on each day. So that is the calendar feature. The next thing we're going to talk about is forms. Forms were specifically put in place for you guys to stay ahead of customers with issues. Okay, so Mike used to have a pre-inspection form where he would have his employee kind of walk the property on every single job to kind of look for things that were messed up. In the event that, after the job, the customer's like, hey, you messed this up at our property, he had pictures and documentation of everything around the property that was there before they arrived. And so he couldn't be held liable for anything that was damaged or anything that was damaged previous or prior to them being there. So that is the purpose of the inspection form. It is a documentation tool. And within here, I'll just go ahead and set one up for you guys. We're going to put Benny Blanco in here. Technician's name is going to be Mike. And then we could take a picture of the property. We then could come in here and select which form we want. So for this one, I'm just going to show you guys what the mobile detailing form looks like. So let's say you had a mobile detailing business. You can always edit these. You can create new templates in here. As you guys can see, I got all the different inspection forms. I got the stinky form. I don't even know. Is it dirty? Does it stink? Like you can create these to say whatever you want, but basically these are things to limit your liability. So whenever, let's say you were going out to do a mobile detailing job, you'd take a picture of any deep scratches, light scratches. Is there clear coat failure anywhere? There's swirls and holograms from, somebody buffing out the paint. Rough paint contaminants, paint chips, things of that nature. So that way, in the event after the job is done, the customer's like, hey, this wheel damage wasn't there before you started the job. Well, yes, sir, it was. We actually marked it as yes. We took a picture of it, and we have the documentation right here for you. Another beautiful thing about this is you can add in additional notes to here. You can add in additional photos. You can put photos under each one of these points, and you can send the customer this before the job is even taking place. So that way they have a copy of it. They know anything that is, faulty on their property or with their property. And you can also upsell with this. So, hey, sir, we noticed that there was a dent in the door. Well, we can actually pull out dents, and we can pull this dent out for $150. Is that something you want to do today? Okay, great. You didn't want to do it. Great. We let you know about it. We're going to go on with our job. So that is the purpose of the form. As I showed you guys, all the forms are saved within the inspection form archive, which you guys can come in here and see. I don't have any pictures in here because most of these were done from the computer. But the other thing is we can come into the contacts. We can then go into any contact we want, and we can look at any inspection forms, any invoices, any estimates. So that is the beauty. It is basically something to document pre-existing damage at customer's property, limit your liability, and to basically cover your ass in the event that somebody tries to blame you for something that you didn't do. So those are the inspection forms. It's also an add-on that you guys can do within the subscriptions. So check that out if you want to. The next one is notifications. This is just to keep you notified on everything that's going on, every estimate that is viewed, every estimate that is accepted, every estimate that is declined, every invoice that is paid. Anything that happens within the app can be viewed within the notifications. If you guys allow notifications to your phone, QuoteIQ will actually send you notifications of all these things happening. If you have something set up like the InstaQuote feature, it's also going to notify you in the event that somebody fills out a quote. So notifications is extremely important. Accept notifications whenever you guys download the app. And then lastly, we have the map tool here. So the map tool is essentially the same tool that's within the app. I showed you guys exactly how to use it whenever you're quoting properties. But let's say that somebody wants a quick quote and you just want to lay eyes on the property. This is going to autofill with whatever we plug into it. So I'm just going to say 2578, and then we'll go ahead and look at Rocky Mount, Missouri. It's going to put us here, and then this would be the house right here. So in the event that somebody wanted a quick quote, we could just kind of take a look at it. Okay, great, sir. We're laying eyes on it. Boom, boom, boom. The only thing is this, since this is not in a contact, it's not going to multiply it out for us, but it will go ahead and give us all the specifics with regards to square footage and everything on this particular property right here. So boom, we'll close that up. And it's going to give us basically 875 square feet. We could then send an estimate out with that information. But that is essentially the map tool. You guys can use it whenever you want. You can use it to look properties up. Let's see if they have a street view of this property. They may not. If it doesn't load, that means they probably don't have a street view on it. See, no valid street view. So unfortunately, not every property has a street view, but that's a problem with Google. Take it up with them. The last thing that I want to show you guys is how to set up InstaQuote, what it is. Basically, it allows your customers to quote themselves. I'm going to drop in a video right now so you guys can check that out, as well as self-schedule. So enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you made it this far in the video, comment down below QuoteIQ. But check out InstaQuote, check out self-schedule. And if you guys want to save 50% on QuoteIQ, go to myquoteIQ.com. First link in the comment section and the description.
So you want to see what InstaQuote looks like for your customers. Let's dive right in. Obviously, we're on the website. We're going to click Fast and Easy Quote, which is going to go ahead and pop up InstaQuote. These are all the services that you've selected for your customers to be able to see from what you've built within QuoteIQ. So for the sake of this video, we're just going to do a house wash, and we will do some concrete. House is going to be a 3,000 square foot house. We're going to click continue, which is going to bring us down to the house wash prompts. Everything that you're looking at now has been input on the user side. So this is what you would put in order to give the customer these options, which the first option is going to be, it's going to be a brick house, stained front door. We have a no. Do you have a screen porch? No. Do you have a detached garage? No. The reason that we're asking these questions is on your dashboard within QuoteIQ, you're able to set up whether or not you're going to upcharge for all these different things. So any variable that you can think of, you can add, and then you can add a particular percentage or a dollar amount based on whatever it is. So on a stained door, you might add an extra $20 because you're going to have to wrap it. You're going to have to tape it. It's going to take a little bit of time. If you've got a detached garage, obviously that's more surface area. So you're going to want to upcharge for it. So we're going to click continue. It's going to take us down to the concrete. And again, these are all parameters that we've set up, and it's got some rust stains. And what is the surface? It is concrete. Our first is going to be named driveway. And it's a 10-foot by 40-foot driveway. And we also have a patio in the back. So I want to put patio, and it's small. It's only a 12 by 12. And we're going to click continue. And then this is where your customer is going to put their information in. Then we're going to go over here and pick a street of the address where your customer is living. And then you're just going to click get a quote. And there it is. The quote is generated. It was also emailed to your customer, and they will see this and they'll select which services that they want. It'll calculate the total down there, and then they can either accept or decline. If they accept it, they sign the agreement. And right here it says, by accepting, I agree to the terms and conditions. Bob. And yes, he is ready to accept this. And then you get prompted if you have this particular feature within QuoteIQ. InstaQuote has also got customer self-scheduling. So they can actually pick their own time and date based on your parameters. So we're going to say schedule now, which pops up the calendar, and we'll go over to September 14th, and we'll start with a 9 o'clock start time. And as you can see over here with the schedule details, and then we'll just go to confirm that that's when we want to do it. It's going to prompt them to confirm again, which they do. And there you go. And that is what InstaQuote looks like for your customers. As you saw, it is very easy to navigate. You're collecting all their information so you can reach out to them, you can contact them, and that's it. If you guys have any questions, just let us know.